Welcome to All In with Ak and O.
This is Zach.
And this is O, baby. Coming back with another one on the Brooklyn subway shooter. My man Frank James. And hey, Ak, why don't you break that down real quick? What happened?
I got you, O. So we got Frank James, age 62, decided on April 15th in the morning to get onto the train. What he did was crazy, man. I mean, he brought some smoke bombs, threw them off into the train where you couldn't see anything, and just started letting rounds fly, man.
Dang.
Now imagine you on your way to work and somebody coming to the train, start dropping smoke bombs and start letting the hammer go. That's exactly what your man Frank James did. And this is a 62-year-old man. There was multiple people that were injured. They believe like 11 plus. The victims range between 16 and 60 years old.
Damn, yo, he caught 16-year-old. Like, did they die or they
Nah,
just...
these are all injuries, man. I don't believe that anybody died, but yo, he's being charged as a terrorist right now, and I think they're trying to bring that down a little bit. But they stated that this was a premeditated situation, so he's in federal court right now.
Oh, he definitely a terrorist. I mean, if that don't fall under terrorism, I mean, come on, man. Like what?
Well, in order for him to define as terrorist, he got to be Muslim.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's not Muslim? Never mind.
Yeah, it's just a bad guy.
He's a bad dude right here.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a bad apple, this guy.
Yeah. So you know what? I mean, he even went as far as, he had his backpack, man. He had on the vest like he's a worker. And then he went straight into the train station and just threw some smoke bombs. Now imagine, man, first thing in the morning, probably didn't even have your coffee yet. And you remember taking trains in the morning in New York, man. I mean, that was the way we got around. So, it's packed.
Mm-hmm.
People ain't talking to each other. Mm-hmm. Everybody's sitting down, listening to their music, playing on their phones, and then boom, pop, 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 pop. Just imagine that. And you can't see what's happening. Smoke is everywhere. People getting shot in the arms, legs. It's pandemonium. People coming out their shoes. And all of this is before 9 a.m., man. This is like 8 something in the morning, if that.
And let me tell you, like if I was in that train, the first thing I would have thought of, like when the smoke bombs come in, I would have thought this was a prank. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have thought this is
like
gonna be
somebody
followed.
Being stupid in the morning, man.
Right, like okay, some teenagers, trying to be funny, like haha, 4th of July, like something like some kind of prank or whatever, for YouTube or, you know what I mean, like for social media. I would never think that it's gonna be followed by bullets and people dropping.
And what made this crazy, was the fact that he disguised himself as a construction worker. I mean, he had the hard hat, the vest, everything. That's something you least expect. You know what that brought me to that reminded me. I mean, if we was around long enough, remember the Long Island train shooting, man? The post office worker.
Yo, time out. Yo. Not for that. That's exactly what I was just thinking. That's what it made me think. The dude that he went on the Long Island Railroad and he was shooting people in the roads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of looked like him, though. He kind of...
Yo, man, I'm telling you, man. What a seal of deal is if he was a post office worker.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word.
That's where the whole term of going postal come from, because a lot of post office workers lost their mind, like your man David Berkowitz. He used to work for the post office.
Oh, word? I ain't know
44 killer.
Oh, wow. I ain't know he was a
post. Man. Post office, man, I tell you, boy, they actually lose it, man. I mean, it's I don't know if it correlates to the job itself, but I mean, it's a hell of a coincidence.
I know they get abused because they get used and abused real bad because, I got, I know somebody that works, for the post office. He ain't even been there, not even maybe 6 months. And all I hear is like how crazy it is, how ridiculous. Like he's like, don't even expect to go home. Like it don't matter what time they tell you you're supposed to go home. Don't even get your hopes up. Don't even start feeling it, like, cause your heart's gonna break. Cause you know what I mean. You're not gonna. As soon as you're done, they're gonna be like, okay, we need you to go here. We need you to go there. Oh, you finished fast. Oh, you good. Oh, perfect. We got 3 people that need your help. You know what I
You
mean?
can't expect somebody to be pushed to the limits and keep a sane face, man. Not justifying any of the crimes that some of these people commit. But I mean, when you push somebody to their max, you don't know how a person's gonna respond to that, man.
True, true.
Now I don't really know this guy's story, but
Right.
I know that they're already talking about, that he needs some mental attention. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? He needs a little bit of mental attention. So I don't know if they're trying to plead insanity for this guy or what.
you
But I
already
mean, this
know.
this was pretty premeditated.
Yeah,
You know,
but he
he
probably
left
gonna
so
get
much.
away
I
with
mean,
it.
look, listen, he left his bank card, his cell phone, a key to the van. He rented a van, and he left all of that at the shooting scene. And they found the handgun as well.
That's too well planned to be for you to not be, you know what I mean, coherent or something like that.
That's my point, man.
Like he
And
gotta
they
go
talking
down.
about he needs psychiatric attention as well as some magnesium tablets for his leg cramps. So he has leg cramps, but he's able to get on a train and then get away. I mean, this is crazy, man. But good thing that somebody saw him, took a picture of him, and then that's how they found him. I think it was like something like 30 hours before they found him, man.
Yeah, don't give him no medicine, man. Let him hop around, man. Hip hop. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
straight up, man.
Yo, that's
A
the.
man peg leg or something, man. Whatever it is, man. Because I'm just like, yo, listen, none of those people deserve that. I mean, Brooklyn already gets a bad rep. I mean, from back in the days.
Right,
But
right.
it's like, New York is changing in its ways and stuff like that. You may get some areas that are now being gentrified or whatever like that. That's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's safe to say that you had students and working class on that train because who else is up that early in the morning? You
Word,
know what I'm saying? So
word.
that's the last thing you're thinking about is being shot up by some psychopath or some, pseudo psychopath, just somebody that has a grudge against life.
And how the cops ain't shoot him, man? Like he need to be. That's somebody that need to be gunned down, man. Like, come
Yeah,
on,
but you
man.
know what? I think it just had so much publicity, and when they found him, he wasn't on. Sometimes they want to make a public display of a person like this. Let's give him like 500 years or something. You know what I'm saying? Because you realize too, going to jail, people like that need PC, man.
True.
You sometimes you think that a person's gonna get props because, yeah, man, I was out there busting down on people and all that, blah 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 blah. But somebody like that who's a public terrorist, they ain't gonna take that lightly.
Right.
Yo,
Yeah.
that was my little sister on the train. Yo, that's my word, man. How you gonna be shooting people like
Or
that in
that
the morning? That
or
could have
that
been my
could have
mother.
been. Yeah, or that could have been my little sister or my mother or the. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or my child, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So
right,
it's just
man.
like, yeah, they ain't gonna take that lightly, man. I don't think so.
Nah, somebody gonna put it on him, man. But he might. Here's the thing, though. If he already, let's say if he was on SSI and he already got like a record,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
there's a good chance that
He
they're gonna put him in the off man house. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like where he crazy.
yeah.
They're gonna medicate him for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably gonna be lethargic, looking like he's half asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they do. People think that it's an escape to go to these crazy houses, but they drug you so bad that you don't even recognize who you are after a while.
Yeah, yeah, it's terrible, man. I've seen it. Like,
Sometimes it's worse than doing time. People just don't know that.
yeah, man. Like, not for nothing. Like, let me tell you, I got a family member. I ain't gonna go too deep in it, but
Right.
you know, and he got some mental issues. You know what I'm saying? And he basically, I remember when he one time when he got locked up, and he was in for some years. One thing I remember is when he got home. When he got home, yo, he was the medication.
He was docile. Like he was just like,
Well, not just docile, nah, like not just docile, but like he was another person. One, it made him real like fat, and then like yo, he was like he couldn't stop doing this with his hands. Like he
oh
couldn't
wow.
stop. Like he just keep always doing this. You know what I mean? He was smoking cigarette. And he was acting like I never seen him. Like yo, it brought me to tears, man.
Yeah,
When
I
you
could imagine, man. I mean, sorry about that too. Like I never
yeah,
knew that, but it's just it's crazy because at least you got a first hand account of what they do to people when they put them in these psychiatric wards.
Yeah.
Like, like it's crazy because at one point I knew a chick that went there, but she was always a little offbeat. And she did a little time, and she wound up going to the crazy house, and they medicate you, man. Like, I mean, you're never the same, to be honest with you. Like, once I've never met a person that's lost their mind and found it again.
Yeah,
That's something you can't get back.
yeah. I mean, but you know what? When you get off them medications, you actually get better, man. Like you won't be 100%,
Right.
but you definitely get better, man. Like, cause yo, once he got off all, and he didn't want to take like these medic. And matter of fact, let me tell you how devious the system is, man. Like, yo, they was forcing him to take medications that made him aggressive, so that he
So
could,
he can catch more cases.
yes, to really put him away. And he knew that, like he realized that, and he was like, nah, you know what I mean? He was trying not to take it. And then, yo, man, they did him dirty, man. They like strapped him to like a chair and like held him down, grabbed his head, pulled it back, macing him in the eyes, and like all that. Yeah, man. Real talk, man. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, like real foul, man. And he's telling them like, he's like, look, it's making me aggressive. I don't want to take it. It's making me aggressive. He's pleading with them, and they didn't care. They was trying to really do him in. Man. If a
Let me ask
help,
you something though.
yeah.
When we run across cases like this, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a legitimate punishment that you can offer somebody like that?
See, it depends, man, because the level is different with different people. You know what I mean? Like, some people have mental issues where they just real paranoid, and maybe they might say
But
crazy
how do we
stuff.
even know if this person truly has mental issues? We don't know that yet. It's not even been established yet. We just talking about some guy that dressed up as a construction worker and started shooting at people in the morning. 10 people got shot now.
Wow, damn. He caught 10?
He caught 10 people, and not to mention the other people that were running each other over.
Damn.
You know what I mean? People scramble once those doors open, man.
Wow, yeah, you're right. That's wild, man. That's, hey, man, I don't know. Like, for me, like, if you do something that heinous, like my family member, he ain't do nothing crazy like that. Like, he's,
right.
It
takes a special someone to do that, man.
Yeah, like, he ain't doing that kind of, he ain't trying to kill people, you know what I'm saying? But this dude, clearly, that's what he wanted to do. So I think that's how I feel. Like, if you catching bodies, especially multiple bodies, innocent bodies, like, to me, you finished, man. Like, yo,
now, I don't think anybody died, but he definitely shot 10 people.
True. Yeah, you did say that. But still, man, like, even you shooting 10 innocent people, then yo, you need to be put away and not come out.
If you and let me ask you this then, right? Now, do you feel that it's possible to be unbiased when seeing that trial, like when being a part of that trial? Like, if you was a jury member, could you sit down in that jury box and be unbiased and hear the entire story before passing judgment?
That'd be real hard, man. But one thing, when they select juries, they pick people that have no clue about the case. You know what I'm saying?
But that's difficult, man. I mean, because it's a jury of your peers. Yeah. New York is a buzz type of city, man.
Yeah. But sometimes where
they get these people from? Buffalo?
Like, I know they try their best. Like, when they going through the screening process, if you show any kind of, like, you already seen the news about it or something, like, if you know about the case already, you're not eligible. So they try
But
their
look at us.
best.
I mean, what's the
It ain't
chances, man?
foolproof,
We
but
we live all the way in another state, right? We're about 1,000 miles away, man, right? And we know about it. What's the chances of somebody not knowing about it, especially when you get in the jury of your peers?
nah, let me tell you, you know what? Cause real talk, I ain't know about it. No, nah, that's not true. That's not true. I did hear it, but it was just a quick skit. Like I just caught a
Right.
quick little glimpse, but I ain't know none of the details. Like you know
But
more of the details than I did. You know what I'm saying?
but look where we're at. Are we expected to know everything? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And see, I would have been disqualified because I did catch something about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you right. Yeah, man, that's hard, man. Like I don't know. It's
I think he's gonna get a raw deal regardless, man.
word.
Because it's hard to find a bunch of people that were living under a rock, man.
And somebody might just be like, somebody might know the process and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure he get locked up. So I'm gonna pretend like I don't know nothing. I never heard nothing. But in
But
reality, I know all
you gotta get
about it.
12 people to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You gotta get 12 people that lived under a rock or faked like they did just to make that happen.
and let me tell you,
I
man.
just feel people like that should just skip trial, man. Plead guilty. You already know what you did. You know what I mean?
Right,
Why are you even going to trial?
right. Yeah. Ain't
That's
no.
my thing.
He looked like a dude that try to represent himself like the railroad, the Long Island Railroad dude.
Those people, I never get those people, man. I don't know where they come from.
I
Mean,
see.
I could see if you had a law degree and you studied law, and then you would have to have studied law in the state that you're being tried in order to make that at least a plausible chance. But you got some whack jobs, you know what I mean, that just feel like, oh man, I think I got this. And as soon as you open your mouth, you incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Open this shut
you
case.
sure you want to do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was gonna give you this time, but now I'm gonna add like 10 years, man, because you just said you did it. I mean, I never understood that, man. I mean, the best defense is silence, man. You just be quiet, man. Just let the process go down, man.
I seen one video though of a dude that a gangster dude, he killed some people, whatever, and he decided to represent himself. And what's crazy is they were saying like, hey, this dude right here, if he wasn't crazy or if he wasn't, a devious criminal like he is, violent criminal, like
Yeah.
he would have made a great lawyer. Like I was
But
bugging
you know
out.
what's funny? People fail to realize their true talents until they actually are painted in the corner.
Yeah,
Like, why did it take you being a whole murderer with all his bodies under your belt in order for you to interpret the law after that?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, why couldn't you just do that in the first place?
You know that must have came in his head like damn, I could have really been this. You know what I mean? Man, life choices, man. Life choices, man.
Yeah, I tell you, man. But I don't wish bad on people, but when somebody's like this, I hope they throw the book at them, man.
Yeah, me too, man. I
You know
don't
what I'm
pity this
saying?
dude.
I mean, just it's you had no justification. I don't even care if you was having a bad last 10 years. Like, make your own life bad. Why are you gonna sit here now? You scarred 10 people that didn't have these scars before, and now they're probably scared to even ride trains.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
the
mean?
rest of
Because
their
it's
life,
not only
yeah.
the physical damage, but it's the mental damage that goes
Yeah.
along with that.
You know they having nightmares.
Obviously.
That ain't something you just gonna forget. You know what I
And
mean?
they got a chance. I mean, if I was them, I'm suing the MTA, man.
I wish, you know what? I wish they had laws like, you know what I mean? Like somebody like that, okay, the punishment, you know what I mean? Get a subway cart, fill it with the families, you know what I mean? Give them some bats, some spike bats, some pipes, you know what I mean? Like some
But see, you can't
torture.
kill the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because,
no,
like, yo,
and that be the
an eye
rules.
for an eye and it's slim, right? So it's just like you gotta do, like you're permitted to do as much as they've done to you. Now I don't know how it will work in the case where it's uneven numbers, like one person versus 10 people. You get the 10 families and they all get to take a stab at you or something. I mean, imagine if 10 people shooting you once. You got 10 bullet holes. What's the chance you gonna live, man? You know what I mean? Now it's no longer equality. And I know a lot of people is just like, they're not gonna agree with that. They might go, listen, kill them. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you have to suffer. I feel suffrage is staying alive and doing the rest of your natural born life in jail.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. That made me think of I remember a friend of mine, right? He showed me this video, man. He was like, "Yo, man, I don't even want to show you this. Like, it's too disturbing, man.
Yeah.
It haunts me, this and that, man. Like, matter of fact, I'm like, yo, I need to see this." And then he's like, nah, trust me, man. This and that. It's like you could tell, like he wanted me to see it, but he ain't wanted me to see it.
Yeah.
But I insisted. I like, nah, I gotta see it. It's like my curiosity is too peaked right now. I gotta see this video. And yo, man, it was horrific, man. Like, basically, they had this dude, bro. They sat him down, right? They had like his hands tied, and then they had him like in a basement or something, right? Yo, and they had like bats, and they started hitting him in the head, like bah, bah, right? And then they stopped, right? And then the dude like go and like grab him, and then a dude come with a knife, right? And the dudes were masked up, and the dude come with a knife and just started going on his sides. Like, imagine you're on your whole side, and just start sticking the knife in and going like cha 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 cha, like going up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh damn! Like, they probably hitting a nerve or something.
Yeah, man. And then just like, and he's like, and then just like doing it, and then they hitting him more in the head with the bat. And yo, man, it was like the most brutal.
He was probably numb. He probably didn't feel half of that stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, one, adrenaline's probably gonna kick in. You know what I'm saying? You get hit upside the head and you get poked up. I mean, yo, that sounds like a snuff film to me, man.
Yo,
that's like some 8mm, like that movie, man. You know what I mean? Like, where they just had snuff films, man. I mean, it's crazy, man. Right. I mean, that's probably made his way on the dark web somewhere.
Well, my homeboy, the title that was on it was something, but I don't go with them titles, man, because people right. just trying to paint the picture whatever they want. They was trying to make it seem like it was some racial thing. You know what I'm saying? In a particular country. And, I ain't just going to believe that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my homeboy that showed it to me, you know what I mean? He's like talking about, like, how could anybody possibly ever do that? And this and that, And I told him, I was like, yo, not for nothing. I understand it was brutal, but you don't know what that dude did. You know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't see in any way, shape, or form how you could do that to a human being.
Why that's justified.
Yeah, or justified, yeah. And I told him, I was like, yo, I could see it. And he was like, nah, there's none. And you know what I told him? I said, let me ask you something. You see your son, your youngest son that you love so much? What if this dude came and raped him and murdered him? You gonna tell me you couldn't do that to him? Because I would. I could do it.
I would hate to be
and have no mercy and feel no mercy for the dude.
I would hate to be in that situation, honestly.
Of course. Of course. But tell me you couldn't do that.
That's going to automatically show a lack of compassion on my part. I won't have any compassion for somebody like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but you see how, like, you change this, you put a certain circumstance. I was just trying to show him, like, yo, we really don't know what dude did. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not as heartbroken as, kind of you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I could see a scenario where I would do that. And matter of fact, I believe you would do that.
Wanted to torture somebody. What if it was just because this guy was like in the wrong place and they just wanted to make an example of him and just wanted to kind of, go through the formalities of filming something gruesome?
Yo, it's possible. Like, really, nobody knows what it really was. You know what I'm saying? But, all I was just trying to shed light to is that we don't know. You know what I mean?
And I get you on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. I mean, honestly, like, just being a law-abiding citizen, right? I would have my reservations if I saw something like that. just just flat off the top. And I mean, obviously, we have some level of desensitized, nature because our upbringing, we saw some stuff that maybe not a regular person would see. You know what I'm saying? So there's automatically like a heart bias there.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I would have my reservations for seeing something like that. Because over the years, you get out the life, your heart becomes a little softer, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
You become spiritual, you're praying, you're doing all this stuff. So it's almost impossible to have the same lack of compassion that you did when you was out there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it would cause some level of reservation just off rip.
yeah. And one thing, I want to clarify though, because you brought up like, you know, from an Islamic standpoint, like, eye for eye and all that. But one thing we gotta, make clear on that is that, Islamically, you gotta follow the laws of the land. So you can't be a vigilante just because you're right. Is if they take the life, the right, you know, the right is that that person's life could
That
be
you can do it
taken,
too.
but you can't
This
do
this
that.
is more applicable in a land where Sharia is being practiced. And
Yeah,
Sharia is just Islamic law, where they just base everything off of Islam, the laws and everything. But if we're living in a secular society, obviously, they have their different levels of law to where it becomes incumbent upon us to follow.
exactly, and that's what a lot of people don't realize.
They just hear eye
Islamically,
for an eye. Oh, y'all savages. Yeah,
yeah,
blah blah blah. I mean, you get to
we
hear a lot of that stuff.
but we
Just living life. People always have their own reservations, but I'm glad you brought that point up. Oh, that gives us time just to kind of clear that up. It's not simply an eye for an eye because what will supersede that is if you are a Muslim, a practicing Muslim, you have to abide by the laws of the land.
yeah,
That's actually that'll supersede any eye for an eye issue that a person may misinterpret.
yeah. No, there's no vigilante stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It don't work that way. Yeah, you know what I mean. Just so people don't get the wrong idea. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
good
man.
call on that.
This dude, man, like yo, man, like yo, he. I hope, yo, I hope he gets the death sentence, man. I don't even know if it's. Do they have? Does New York have the death sentence?
That's a good question. I don't know how many states actually have the death sentence, man. You know,
I think it's only like
yeah, I
Texas
kind of
and
want to see,
Florida.
who practices capital law,
You mean capital punishment?
capital punishment. I'm sorry. Yeah, because obviously not every state is into that.
I'm,
Some people feel like it's a cruel. 27 states.
but
27 states actually practice capital punishment.
oh wow, is that many?
Yeah,
So like almost what was that? A little more than half,
yeah, a little more than half. So I can kind of rattle them off. Obviously, the South is all in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
You
figured that.
got, I mean, but what's funny is that New York doesn't practice it.
Figures because it's a liberal state, man. You know,
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, their murder rate is pretty high. I mean, I think it'll probably be a little more incentive to reconsider.
and I think that's
But
foul, man. Not for nothing, but I think that's foul because it's like yo, I can't tell you like um I've seen so many like cases, right, of
yeah,
people that have when you hear the crimes they did, how heinous.
it's just like
Excuse
how
me.
you don't, how you guys don't practice that.
Yeah, like yo, where they just got life, but meanwhile they went and murdered, you know, like a bunch of people, like kids, doing like the most heinous things you could imagine, man. And they just get life, man. Like they get to live, they get to go on. Like man, like I don't feel that's just, man. I don't feel that's right. It bothers me, man. Like that bothers me, man.
Yeah,
That's why when they did Jeffrey Dahmer when they killed him in prison, yo man, I did it. I did the Harlem Shake. I ain't even from Harlem, but I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, I was happy. You know what I mean? Like good, cause yo man, I guess he couldn't get the death penalty, which is
yeah.
ridiculous. You know?
But like I said, I mean, a lot of people are still in the street justice, man. I mean, even if you property estate, you know what I'm saying? They still into that level of justice. So But I feel like, just looking at just kind of like breezing through it, really the only East Coast states that practice that are like uh, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. Now, I
Mm.
don't know if you consider Ohio an eastern state or whatever like that, but Ohio and Indiana also practice that. And I think Indiana falls more into like the Midwest.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
so
But yeah, man.
but we got a lot of West Coast states that are on in a lot of southern states. Obviously places like Texas, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky. I mean, you have quite a few. And then just
Missouri.
rattling off some on the West Coast, you have California, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon. You got Montana, Wyoming. So there's a lot of people that really, they're into that whole, you know, death sentence thing. And they say South Carolina just in 2021 became one of the first states to depart from using lethal injection. So they're more into the electrocution, which I feel is a little more, it's a little more gruesome, man. I mean, because sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
that's why I don't. It's hypocritical when people say, "Oh, like in certain places where they do, they might stone somebody to death." I think the electric chair is a lot more brutal, than that. You know what I mean?
And
Because
also with that lethal injection, they said, listen, there's some people that survive for minutes and they going through like cardiac arrest and they going through paralyzation and all types of different stuff before they actually eat dirt. So
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like, it's crazy because you feeling death come.
yeah, slowly.
Stoning to death, you get hit in the head one good time, you don't feel none of them other stones hit you, man.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm
it
saying?
just
Somebody with
it
some
looks
good
more
aim in the
brutal.
sidearm,
Yeah,
that's it, game over.
with the side on little
You know what I'm
curveball. You know
saying?
what I mean?
It's like you skipping rocks across the lake. You just catch it. Pop.
Like
You know what I'm
a
saying?
slider. Let me throw a little slider in
Yeah, and I mean
there.
even firing squads, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean that's a bit much, but you see people drop from bullets pretty fast. So
Yeah, yeah,
you know you might get one that just snap you right in the head and just kind of end game. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I probably would prefer that, out of all the other ones, you know what I
But I
mean?
think there's a sense of cruel and unusual punishment, man. I honestly feel that some of these people get a kick out of killing people, so they make it those slow, gruesome deaths, like the lethal injection, the gas chamber where you're suffocating, or like the electrocution. Like they're frying you up, but it's just not that many volts, or you can kind of withstand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you start smelling burnt body parts. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a bit much, man.
yeah,
Like it could be something that's a little more, swifter. But I feel like there's a sense of punishment in capital punishment that
hmm,
they want to kind of promote to the people. That's why they have you. You have an audience every time you kill somebody. You actually have a set of people that can watch.
yeah.
It's kind of like
Family
public
members.
hangings. You know what I'm saying? Even
Hmm,
though nobody learns their lesson from it. I mean, because they'll probably execute somebody every day of the week if they could.
hmm, yeah,
But it's that whole audience is supposed to be that shock factor, like, oh my gosh, this is what happens. So you get the most law-abiding citizens and some family members inside of the little chamber where you can kind of see somebody, meet their demise. But that's not going to change the public. I mean, the whole reason why they used to have public executions is keyword public. So everybody can see this is what happens to you
yeah.
if you commit that crime.
That's deterrent,
Yeah.
and I don't see that as too bad. Like real talk, you know what I'm saying?
I don't either, but I feel this guy needs to be handled in public. To
Yeah,
be honest with you,
word, word,
you know what I'm saying. I
word.
like Frank James, whoever you are, you're a POS, and you ruin a lot of people's lives. At least their sense of comfort.
Hmm.
Public transportation is hard enough to adjust to anyway, especially if you're not a people person. You got people touching you and they smelling different and all types of, what I mean? Like there's a lot of challenges with just riding public transportation. You get used to it after a while, and then all of a sudden you got some sick psycho that jumps on a train, smoke everybody out. I mean, why don't you? Why you ain't go to the army or something, man? That sounds like a
Word.
tactic to me.
Join the war,
You
yeah, yeah.
know what I
And
mean?
you go be the front line, man. You can go crazy. Yeah,
And how did you get to this stage of your life? You're 62 years old. What kind of gripe have you been walking with?
It's wild, man. And
You know, so I don't get people, man. Honestly, I really don't get people.
and
You
the,
know, but
and the,
at
and
least
the,
they're doing the right thing. He has no bail, so he, you know,
and
obviously he ain't gonna have no money
and
anyway.
it better not be my girl left me. Like, yo,
Hey,
then
yo, do
then
you
they'll
remember? Oh
torture him,
man,
torture
yo,
right
that
there. Yo.
reminds me. Remember that one dude? That one dude that was driving around, and he walked up to the old man and said, "Say such and such his girlfriend's name," and he said, "You know, she's the reason why I did this to you," and just shot him right in his head. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then he went off and unalived himself, I believe. You know what I'm saying? But it was just crazy that he did all of this on Facebook Live.
Wow, yeah, you got a few of those stories right there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I mean, you know, where do they find these people from that can't handle stress? I mean, this is everyday stress, man.
mm,
They feel like they're special. I mean, we've all been going through some type of stress. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, we can all be out there doing some vigilante, crazy, sick, psychotic stuff. But hey, we deal with it.
right,
You know what I
right. That's
mean?
part of life, man. You know,
Yeah, man. I
some
mean,
people
build
get
some
handed.
character. Who the hell are you? Who do you think
Yeah,
you are that you can just sit here and harm other people's kids?
yeah,
Or
man. Or
just harming
innocent,
whatever.
anybody innocent, man. Like, yo, that's just too much, man. But yeah, man, we could build on this all day, man. You know, but
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, you know, we got enough examples in society, but yo, you know, at the end of the day, you know, like, subscribe, comment, you know, let us know what you want us to talk about. You know, there's always a lot of hot topics that we're gonna go all in on.
mm-hmm,
And you know, just keep tuning in, man. It's gonna get better and better. You know,
work,
we really enjoy talking to you guys and, you know, holding this audience and just giving you our raw opinions, man.
work, and you know what I mean. Like, show that support. You know what I mean. Help us blow up. You know what I mean. Y'all the day ones. You know what I mean. Let's shoot to the moon with this.
To the moon and back, man. You know what I'm saying?
Work.
But with that, man, I'm gonna let you guys go. Oh, it's always a pleasure. Till the
Always,
next time,
always,
brother.
always. All right, my brother. All right, peace.
Peace.